Muy bien, bienvenidos a todos.
About
Lo voy a
language
entregar a
justice.
Melissa para hablar acerca del idioma.
Good morning. We here at NCFL, well, it might help if I turn my screen on. Sorry, you all.
Muy buenos días a todos de NCFL y voy a prender mi pantalla.
So we here at NCFL and JCPS have made a commitment to language justice. So this morning we are providing interpreters for the following language, Spanish. It takes everyone to make this work. So please, one person speak at a time so the interpreter doesn't have to choose who to interpret for. Also, please mute your microphones to make sure our interpreters can hear the person that is speaking. And again, only one person speaks at a time. For bilingual folks, feel free to switch languages. We encourage you not to use the dominant language. Just try not to switch languages in the same sentence. If there is a problem with interpretation, please do not suffer in silence. Let us know and we will troubleshoot. Just shoot me a message in chat, or if you need to interrupt the meeting so we can help you, we will do that. We believe that language is intimately connected to who we are, our culture, and our worldview. And so we want people to express themselves in the language they are most comfortable with. So once everyone has turned on interpretation, we can do a sound check and make sure that you can hear the interpreter. We have the lovely Hank with us here today, who's going to repeat what I just said in Spanish.
Muy buenos días a todos. Por parte de la señorita Melissa Hall, hemos hecho un compromiso para la justicia del idioma y hoy vamos a tener interpretación en el idioma español, pero sí necesitamos la cooperación de todos para que esto funcione. Por favor, hablan solamente una persona a la vez para que el intérprete no tenga que elegir para quién interpretar. Por favor, pongan sus micrófonos en silencio para permitir al intérprete que pueda oír a la persona quien está platicando una persona a la vez. Para las personas bilingües, ustedes pueden cambiar de idioma, pero sí les animamos que utilicen su idioma principal. Traten de no cambiar de idioma dentro de una misma oración. Si hay algún problema con la interpretación, por favor, no sufran en silencio. Por favor, déjenos saber en el chat a la señorita Melissa Hall para que podamos analizar cualquier problema. Nosotros creemos que el idioma está íntimamente conectados con quienes somos, nuestra cultura y nuestra perspectiva global. Queremos que la gente pueda expresarse en el idioma con cuales ellos tengan la mayor comodidad. Una vez que hemos prendido la parte de interpretación, vamos a hacer una prueba de sonido para verificar que puedan oír al intérprete.
Okay, thank you, Hank. And Cindy, Crystal, if you want to take it away, we have turned on the interpretation feature. So it's now available.
All right, Crystal.
All right, good morning, everyone. Cindy, I'm going to depend on you for the flow of the day because I know we've switched up a little bit. But I just want to start by just saying thank you to everyone who's here today. My name's Crystal Hawkins. I'm our district's family engagement specialist. And I am just so happy to be here. Before getting on this call, I actually found out that one of our really close family friends, a mother passed away. So it actually just made me really think about all the loss that we are going through right now and just how grateful I am for everyone that showed up on this call. And I just think about, we're coming together to think about what we can do to make our community better for our students, for our families. And sometimes we just have to think about what we're carrying as well. So I've just, had to be real with that. And I also just had to send some love to everyone who's dealt with any loss or grieving what was normal before, or just it's the middle of the year and we are heavy with so many different things. So I just wanted to start by saying I am just grateful for everyone being on here today. You don't have to be here. There's so many other things you could be doing, but you're choosing to be here. So I just want to start by saying how grateful I am for you. And so for today, thank you everyone for prayers. We're all praying together, right? Because I'm not the only one that's experienced any type of loss. So we're all praying together. But for today, we are here to uplift, encourage, come together as a community. And, you know, so today, if you want to use the chat to talk to each other, to be together, we really want to make sure that this is a conversation that everyone is included in. So you're going to have a lot of information today, but please, no one on this call is just a bystander to where you're just listening to information. At any point, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or if there's an opportunity to hop in, feel free to hop in and ask that question. So a couple things that I wanted to share that we're going to go over today on our agenda. We have a lot of really amazing information. And the theme for today is you are not alone, right? And it's perfect for this Friday. We have so much information that we're going to be sharing from ECE, Family Resource Centers, Justice Now. Like, there's so much information we're sharing today. And the goal is letting everyone on this call know you're not alone. So it doesn't matter if you are someone bringing information or if you're someone that really needs this information. Everyone hopefully should be able to get what you need. Also, I really want to challenge everyone today to share some information with someone. So take something for yourself. I don't even care if you're presenting information. Take something for yourself and share something. So take something for yourself, something you didn't know. Oh, wow, I needed that. And then I want you to share something with a family member, someone that you know. So that's my challenge for everyone on here today. Even if you're presenting information, take something and let's share it. So then we'll be able to have a question and answer component, and we'll be able to get some feedback from you all. We also have some really cool updates. So I need everyone to really stick in today because we have some cool updates about ways that we want to empower more family leaders, and we have a challenge, a really good challenge. So you may be, if you're getting on here for the first time today, you may be wondering, like, what is PAC, right? Like, what is this whole thing? And basically, it's a community. I realize that many of us realize we don't often have an opportunity for family members, for community members, for district, staff, school staff to really come together in community and just share information and support each other. And that's what this space is about, because we know that we cannot do this alone. What I always find is I may think I know something, and then I hear from somebody else and I'm like, wow, I had no idea that was happening. So that's what this is about. Feel free to give your feedback from your perspective as a parent, as a community member, as a school staff person, as a district leader, whatever your hat is, put it on, be unapologetic about it, and let's come together and share information. So that's basically what PAC is. And at the end of the call or end of this meeting, we want your feedback. So if PAC is not what kind of what you thought it was going to be and you want something different, we want your feedback. And we're also wanting some family members and some family leaders to potentially take on components of PAC moving forward. So if you think you would like to share something at a PAC meeting, or maybe even recruit some other parents, we're going to give you an opportunity to do that. So that's what's PAC. All right, so a couple of these slides, you're going to have this slideshow with you. But when I say that you're not alone, I mean you're not alone. There are so many people in our district and within NCFL that are supporting us. So on this presentation, you're going to get this email to you. It has a link to all of our wonderful partners within NCFL that support this work. And on the next couple of slides, there are also our partners within the district. So all these people are people in so many different departments that you might have a question about: clothing assistance, about early childhood, ESL. You may have a question about grants and awards. So many different departments are represented, and you'll get this presentation. And shout out to some of the people who are on this call that are part of this group. We call ourselves FACE of JCPS. So it's Family and Community Engagement. All right, so to get started today, we want to just have an opportunity to think about what we're looking forward to in 2021. I'm not gonna lie, 2021, we're all kind of like on the fence. Some of us are. Some of us are really looking forward to great things in 2021. So we want to just give an opportunity to take a moment, get in the chat. Well, we're going to do a breakout session and just maybe introduce yourself. Let's build some community. Talk about what school your children or the kid that you love attends, and one thing that you're looking forward to in 2021. And be thinking about what similarities do you notice with all of the people in your group. So you're going to see an option to either join a breakout group, or you're going to be put in a breakout group. We're probably only going to be in it for about 5 minutes. So just a little opportunity to kind of say good morning.
Dot.
502.org.
On it. And that'll let me know who's assigned to Marion Seymour High School.
Yeah, you'll get a response. Just let them know what school you're looking for, and they'll respond.
Excellent. Thank you so much. You got a cute little baby there.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing, Susan.
All babies are cute, you know. I mean, they look like little old men at first, but they're so cute. Smoother skin, you know.
Little old men are cute.
Men look cute.
Oh, true. You're right. You're true that. They're so cute.
Well, does anybody want to share? I know we could put in the chat like any similarities we found. Anybody want to share something interesting that you shared, or something you learned about someone else, or something that someone shared about focusing for 2021?
About focusing, or about? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of acronyms for the past few days. It's been the end of the term, and I've had internet issues and problems with not knowing how to understand the grading. So my son understands, because there's Google Classroom, there's Infinite Campus, and he thought he had everything caught up, and because he didn't realize how to. He's in the 10th grade, and he makes typically straight A's and B's, but it's funny how little things, you think you've taught your child something, or the school caught it, between the two of you, you think you've got the stuff covered, and then something minor comes up. Like a couple of years ago, when he was, I think, in the 8th grade, he told me he didn't know the months of the year. And I'm thinking, this is almost a straight A student who doesn't know the months of the year. And I guess I assumed that he learned them in school, and I get vice versa, but that was just one example of how things kind of fall through the cracks. But I was asking him, I said, do you know how to figure out what your grade is right now? Looking at, Infinite Campus or the other portals, and what you need to do to ensure you get a certain grade, A or B, whatever, what you need to strive for. And he said, nope, I have no idea. I said, you're just going in there blind. Besides, have the information, but you have no goal as far as, what you need to achieve. And I think that helps me anyhow. And so I started looking at that and things about the systems I thought I knew, especially Infinite Campus. I'm trying to explain to him, and I realized I don't know it. And then with Google Classroom, he was sick yesterday, and I'm trying, he's in there, and I'm trying to go in and at least let his teachers know that he may not be there in those classes. And since it's the end of the term, so on and so forth. And I had to wake him up. I was like, how do I send a message to somebody? There's so many things that, I don't know. And I know the information's out there, but when you're panicked at the last moment, or at least me, I'm like, okay, I can't find it. And I start, freaking out. And then I get frustrated. And I think like I've had little frustrations here and there, but I know everybody does. And I think the school is doing a great job, the school system, and I fully support. And I don't like to bring anything negative, because I don't want, those people who are against this, tax increase and, those naysayers. I don't want to give them any fuel. And I always too, I try to, sit back and say, is it just me thinking this? Is it just me, what I'm going through? But anyhow, I got just really frustrated, and I, got some help through a couple of teachers, but it just seems like often, even within his school, one hand doesn't know what the other one's doing, and just trying not to step on toes. And I just found that I was getting very frustrated, and I'm thinking, I've got one child.
Yeah.
Because I'm disabled, I don't work. And what about these people who have, multiple kids? One's in elementary school where you've got to really help them a lot more. My son, needs very little help. He's, very, just a great kid. I'm very lucky.
I'll tell you, Susan, we have honestly like some real vets on the call today even. And what I would love is that you keep joining us to get tidbits of information, because one thing I'll share too, you brought up about being able to kind of check your son's grades and kind of know where he is. And that actually brings me to a really important thing that we'll continue to talk about if we need to, but even with Parent Portal. So the information you're sharing, Susan, if you could please, when we get to towards the end of this, please put that in the feedback so we can make sure that future sessions we give you information about Google Classroom, or we could follow up with you directly and give you information about Google Classroom, how to get on Parent Portal. Because one thing I'm looking forward to this year, Susan, and everybody, is I'm looking forward to finishing my doctorate. And what I'm actually studying, thank you, Trish, oh Lord. And what I'm studying, Susan, is actually Parent Portal. And there is a strong relationship between families that are able to get on Parent Portal and check their kids' grades and their kids doing pretty well, right? But if parents don't know how to get on Parent Portal, we want to make sure that we support you with that too. So if you can, please, yeah, if you can, on it.
It's interpreting what's there, and then it reached like my son, because when he was in elementary school, before he was diagnosed in the 6th grade finally with gastritis and esophagitis, which caused him to miss a lot of school.
Right.
And because of that, I got interested in him as soon as he started school. But I was thinking that it was going to provide more information than it does, which is fine, but I knew it very well. And when he was in the 7th grade, I noticed a problem with it, but I'll get back to that later.
Right.
A lot of parents I talked to, because I was, saying something about information in there. A lot of people I know are parents that I've never even been in there. And I wasn't faulting them. I'm just telling them, I said, the reason why I knew it so well was because, like I said, I started when he was in the 1st grade, trying to get to know it. And, with the issues that he had with health, I knew it pretty well. But I didn't even think about it till, a couple of days ago, that did he know how to interpret his grade and what he needed to do? And I think that's important. I mean, there's just like, I'm babbling because I've got so much on my mind and being isolated. I think, from everybody does that too. But I want to, I don't want to complain, because I don't think that complaining and blaming, that's just not me. I want to find out how I can help and how I can help other people, because I know if I'm frustrated, there's has to be a lot of other people frustrated. And I think we've seen recently what, dissent and people, wanting somebody to blame, and, it just builds up to bad grammar and poor spelling on my part anyhow. And, there's not talking about my son. When I send, emails or things to teachers, I'm always like, I second guess myself, and, oh, that sounds horrible. And they're going to be thinking, oh, poor Martin. No wonder he has problems with grammar. His mother is horrible at it.
Well, we're not judging here, Susan.
But you know what I'm saying?
And you are in the right place. That's what actually, Trish shared, that you're in the right place. So what I want to do, we do have to move on. And so
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
do want to, though, make sure that you get connected and know that each of the people that are going to be presenting will be resources that you can keep following up with. So don't worry about like having to figure everything out right now. Just get comfortable and hopefully we'll be able to get you some good stuff for you. But I do want to shout out real quick too. I want to shout out Lindsay. She said that in their group, they had a lot of things they were looking forward to. And I wanted to just acknowledge what they shared in their breakout group. But they're looking forward to returning to school, the vaccine, and graduating. And Lindsay, go ahead, Lindsay, graduating. And real quick for the vaccine, you should have gotten an update in if you're on School Connect. If you're not on School Connect, you can leave it in the chat. We can give you information, leave your information. But hopefully you got an update that we're hoping the first week of February that JCPS employees that elected to get the vaccine the first week of February will get the vaccine that week, the first round. Yes, amen. Praise Jesus. Oh, I'm happy. And then 5 weeks from then there'll have to be a second round. So once the second round happens, then there is a period between the second round and when it's safe. But we're hoping that a return to school date can be established by then. But all of it right now is based on the day that the vaccine is released, what the schedule looks like. And we, as a district, we're prioritizing smaller students first and moving from there. But that is all that I know. What I do recommend is keep checking your email, keep checking School Connect, and the updates that I get are the same updates that we all get. So I have no other information besides when we have parent updates that are sent out. So hopefully kids will be returning to school soon. We know we all want our kids back to school, but we want to make sure everyone's safe. And so with that, I am going to invite in a very important partner. I'm like, Trish, what do I even say? Because Trish is like, literally, she's part of FACE. She helps parents. She's always there if you need any support, even outside of ECE. But Trish today is going to really share some really cool tips for accommodating for your students. And one thing I want to keep in mind is when we're looking at accommodations, it might say ECE and your students may receive services or they may not. But what Trish is going to share are some great tips, even if your student receives services if they don't. So please listen to some of the tips that Trish is sharing. And we are so grateful for you, Trish. I'm turning it over to you.
Well, thank you. And you're absolutely right that anyone can use these accommodations. We use them ourselves. My kids laugh at me all the time because when I text, I talk to my text and I put periods in and I'll say something so that it puts in the punctuation. And they're like, Mom, you're not supposed to put punctuation in a text. But we all use accommodations. So these are accommodations for your students. And, you know, with special ed, your special ed teacher should be as involved as your regular ed teacher in NTI, and your child should be going to both teachers, as well as using their accommodations across all environments. So these are accommodations that not only can be in effect during NTI, but also afterwards. So when your child is going to school and then coming home and they have a reader or a writer at school, they can use those same accommodations on their homework when they're at home with you or doing their college applications. So these are important things for you to know about too, so that you can ensure that they're utilizing them. If we can get them to utilize their accommodations across environments, meaning at home, at school, in the community, then they're going to generalize them more and they're going to be more successful. So we want them to feel comfortable. So the first accommodation is just read and write. It's an add-on to Google Chrome or to Google Classroom and Google Documents. So there's a short video that we're going to watch, but anyone using Google can utilize these services. So there's word prediction, voice typing, which is voice to text, and then it will read for you also.
We're going to have Andrea share her screen.
Hi there. Today we're going to see how Read and Write can help when you're using Google Docs or just browsing the internet. Okay, let's start by seeing what we can do in Google Docs. Here's the purple Read and Write icon at the top of your screen. Click on it and this toolbar appears. First of all, let's read some text out loud. Put the cursor anywhere you want. Click play and it starts reading like this.
Honey is a kind of sugary syrup.
And you can stop at any time. Pick a word, like this, and use the dictionary to explain what it means. And there's a picture dictionary right here too. Click on the prediction icon, and Read and Write will help you by guessing words that you're typing. Put your mouse over the suggested word to hear it read aloud.
Insects.
If that's the word you're looking for, click to insert it. Click here near the right of the toolbar to change settings if you want to. There are lots of different reading voices to choose from. And you can change reading speed if it's too fast or slow. You can hide the toolbar anytime you don't need it by clicking on the Read and Write icon again. Okay, Read and Write isn't just for Google Docs. You can use it when you're browsing web pages with Google Chrome too. Click the Read and Write logo in the address bar, right here, and the toolbar pops up. Most features are pretty similar to when you're using Google Docs. With reading aloud, this time you can hover over to hear the text.
I had a chance to talk to the show's creator.
You can stop reading anytime. The dictionary lets you look up what words mean and hear the definitions read aloud. Double-click to highlight a word and press the dictionary button to see what it means. Click on the dictionary to listen to it.
Adjective, having life of vigor or spirit.
And of course, there's a picture dictionary too. Double-click to highlight a word, then click right here to see images related to the word you've selected. This fact finder is really useful if you're doing homework or researching an assignment. Highlight a word and click here to see search results from Google. Thanks for watching.
So that is Read and Write in Google. It's an extension, but you can also have the same types of accommodations in Word documents. So I think our next slide is...
Real quick, Trish, we had a couple, I was wondering if anybody had seen this before. And so a lot of people haven't. So basically with Read and Write, all they would do is, again, they could do this on their iPad or on Chromebook, MacBook, any type of device, right? All they have to do is go to the Google, that's the circle, right? The Chrome, Google Chrome.
They can go to the Waffle and download the add-on, the Read and Write add-on, and then from that add-on, that will populate to their documents.
Okay, and then a waffle, the waffle are those little boxes. So if you go to Google, like say you're just searching for something, you're searching like, what's the weather today? Go to Google. And when you go to the search box, you're going to see like those little boxes. It's like about 9 of them or something. Mm-hmm. It looks like a little square. You click on that square and then you search for Read and Write. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then it'll once they go into, thanks, Ria. And then once you go into, you're going to see Read and Write. And every time you go into Google, like you have to go to Google Chrome, and your kids could be looking at anything and that you can use Read and Write. So I thought that was a really awesome tool. I'm mad my son is like in 7th grade. I'm like, this would have been really, really great back in the day. But
and your kiddos may have used it. They may have already figured it out and used it. So They are so far ahead of us with technology. And so I was going to say too, they may say to you, I'm not getting my accommodations, because they don't even realize, because so many of us use these extensions and we use word prediction and the dictionary. I mean, I keep my thesaurus up and look up other words every time I'm writing. I learned that in my doctoral program to make myself sound a little smarter.
Right. It's like, I need a better word, right? And Rhea had a good question. Is this, is there a grade restriction on read and write? Does it start at a certain level?
It doesn't, but I mean, your kiddos need to be able to, they're writing, they're in a point in instruction where they are, they understand the process of writing, so that when it's predicting a word, they would have to understand how to use it and be able to use it and understand that out of the 3 words, they need to choose one of them. Okay. And then real quick, whoever's sharing their screen, is there a way that we can just show where, when you click on the waffle, those little boxes, where you would actually find it? I was actually thinking that I can ask, I can do like a little 1-page direction on how to get to it and send it, that we could send out in the, when we send out the PowerPoint or the agenda. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you. Okay. You're welcome. So this, you can get the same types of dictation and other accommodations on the Chromebook. So you would go to your settings on the Chromebook, which they call this a snowman. It's the 3 dots on top of each other. And then you go to your settings, advanced, manage accessible features, enable dictation. So that would be, you speak to it and it types for you. Or keyboard shortcuts, you would just do search +D to turn on dictation or turn it off. So then next. So there is the option, and if you have a child who has AAC, which is augmented it's like augmented communication. It's a device where they choose pictures to communicate, then the teacher can actually have their device up on a split screen for them. So they can see their words, see the teacher at the same time, and see what else is going on. So this is an option. And if you have a child who needs this, then you can work with your teacher to make sure that your child is getting to see their choice grid. We're not going to play the video for that because it's more for teachers to teach them how to do it for a student. Okay, next. These are links for different interventions that we use to keep children engaged and to teach skills for our kiddos. So these are links that do a short video clip of how you could implement some of the same interventions. So discrete trial training is where you take a skill and break it down into the discrete skills of it. We use it a lot for attentional skills, where we teach kids to respond to their name. And then this is just a short training video. So if you were trying to implement it at home to also generalize those skills across school and home, you would be able to use it. Or prompting. How do we prompt? We do have a lot of teachers who hear the parents prompting on the side, but what you don't know is there are levels of prompts that we use so that we still get kids to generate the ideas on their own and not give them the answers. Or we give wait time. So we prompt, but then we wait for a while so that they can process the prompt and then respond. If we prompt again immediately, sometimes we distract that child. So it's a short training video on prompting, and then reinforcement, generalization. But you can find a lot of these in your teachers, or if you contact Lisa Batchelor, who's our parent liaison, she can let us know what you need and we can help with that. Okay, next. So these are just reinforcement strategies. I think we've heard a little bit that we're all a little fatigued with being home, including our kiddos. And so we want for them to just be happy to learn, but we may need to reinforce them a little bit. So we may need to praise them. You know, they're sitting in front of a computer for a long time and our bodies aren't used to this. They're used to getting up and moving. So giving them some praise that's specific to, I like how you listened to your teacher and you responded instead of just like, good job sitting at the computer. What exactly are you praising them for so they understand what to continue doing? Reinforcement is going to increase the chance that that behavior occurs again. A first then. First, you're going to work with your teacher, then you get to go outside and play on the trampoline for 10 minutes, just to give them, this is what I'm going to get for sitting here. We all, I mean, I'll tell you, my dogs even know when the end of the day comes and I give myself the reward of getting up and going outside. And at 4:30, they are waiting and jumping on me if I don't do it. So this helps us all, and you can use this even when you're not doing NTI. Giving them just choice boards. What am I going to get? Giving your child some control. We do this in the classroom all the time, you know, and so this is just how you can do it at home too. And your teacher can do it, and then you can too. And you work with your teacher on, these are the choices we have available this week. You know, we're not going to have maybe McDonald's this week because I'm not taking my kiddos out into the community right now because I'm nervous about COVID. So, but we do have the choice of someone bringing, you know, grandma bringing their favorite casserole over, or we have the choice of playing a game together. So just work with your teacher on what the choices are. Okay, this is just a token system for, you know, if I do my work during class, listen to the teacher, keep my camera on, and can tell mom and dad when I'm finished, then I get to play a video game, or then I get to go swing for a little while. So I'm working for the swing, and these are the things that I have to do to get to the swing. And it's really, again, important to work with your teacher. If your teacher's seeing that the kiddo doesn't turn on the video, then that would be one thing. That's what I'm doing to get to the swing or to get to the trampoline. Okay. These are just different reward menus, just for examples that you may put together. Again, we're doing lots of reinforcement. Next. And then these are some resources for you. But again, we have an area for teachers, and then we have an area on the parent NTI toolkit. And Lisa and I are always available to help you. Lisa is a wonderful resource, especially, you know, with PAC. Why it's so important to have her here is because parents are the most important part of a child's special education. It's you knowing your child, you giving input into their programming. And I think especially after NTI, you have seen their learning and their abilities. And so you know even more about your child's learning. And so your input is that much more important right now. So please, we are partners with you and we want to help at any time. And I think that that's it for us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Trish. You gave so much amazing information. And I also want to mention that Lisa Batchelor and Trish Gallagher, they're both, typically they join most of our FACE meetings. So if you have just even a question, or their information will be included. If you want to follow up, if your child receives ECE services, or if you are concerned and you think they may be eligible for services, you can certainly follow up. But what I reiterate is Trish just dropped some nuggets that really all of us can use. I think those are great strategies for all of us as parents. So thank you, Trish. We love you. All right. And next, one of our loves is Dr. Goffner, who oversees our Family Resource Youth Service Centers, which I like to call the heartbeats of JCPS. And she's going to share some wonderful resources that they have to further show that we all are not alone. You are not alone. So again, be listening for some information that you can use and share. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Gwen.
Well, good morning, everyone. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be here, first of all. And so, yes, so I'm Gwen Goffner, the manager of the coordinators. But I just want to let you know there's 107 coordinators that serve 141 different locations. And so at the beginning, when our parents were sharing, I noticed that we had parents from Bates and Wilder and Fern Creek Elementary and High School, Mill Creek, John F. Kennedy, Low, and TMS, and also Watterson. And so we have coordinators in every one of those locations. And so our biggest thing is we've been in existence for 30 years. And I really like to share that is because we, our biggest thing is we're here to help solve problems. And so I know, Susan, you were sharing some of the concerns that you had for your son. And so we just want you to know that's why we're in existence. And so if you have a need, don't hesitate to reach out to our coordinators because our biggest role is to remove barriers. And so some of those barriers, they look different for every family members. I will tell you through NTI, some of the roles and responsibilities that we've done, they look different. And so some of it in the beginning was connecting families with Chromebooks, making sure that like if you need school supplies, we're still doing that. Also, if you have a need for food, you know, we have resources. And so I always like to share, you don't have to call all over the city. If you call one of our family resource youth service center coordinators, they will connect you with a resource. Also, their own personal model, and Crystal will share this with you, is they'll do whatever it takes. And so, you know, if some of that is setting down and being an advocate, if you are having a parent meeting, they will do that. If it's something that if you needed, you know, some food or something, they're going to connect you to resources. If you're having some just even rental, if you, you know, rental assistance, they can connect you with resources that also with that. So there's, you know, it just varies. Each of the centers and the coordinators, some of their expertise are different, but one of the things that I love about all 107 of them, parents, I want you to know, is they're a collaborative team. They do whatever it takes, but one of the things too, they work collaboratively to make sure, say if you had something that you needed and they don't have it, they're gonna reach out to another coordinator to see if we can find that for you. So, so that's what we do. So we have a list of the coordinators. And one of the things I just wanted to share too, and some of the help again looks different. It may be that if you need, I've mentioned some basic needs. We work with our clothing assistant program. And so they also have small appliances. They have, you maybe coats and shoes. We also, if you had some health needs, you know, we can certainly connect you with dental assistance or something like that. Also, you know, I want to be really honest. During this time right now, we're all stressed. You know, I'm stressed. So everybody's stressed and we all have some anxieties. And so even they can connect you with the counselor, our mental health. We actually have partners with some professional service contractors that we can also connect you with. And then anything that gets in the way of your child learning, that's our role, is to help remove that barrier. And so I'm really here to let you know that we exist. If you're trying to figure out how to navigate JCPS, you know, let our FRISC coordinators help you. You're not alone. We are here to help. I appreciate Crystal and the FACE team allowing us just to be a part of it. Our coordinators, a lot of them are family engagement leads at their school locations. But again, anything that we can do, the coordinators they'll do whatever it takes. And if you have questions for me, you know, I'll be on the call for a little bit and I'll be glad to answer those.
Awesome. Thank you, Gwen. And the list is included. I know that some people were asking how to find the list of coordinators. So thank you to Andrea, Cindy, and Gwen for dropping that list. And then I also just wanted to point out that one of the major links to kids doing well is school stability, right? And stability is, I can pay my bills, I can get food on the table, I can do what I need to do to make sure my family is safe and taken care of, right? And so we know that our, family resource, youth service center coordinators make sure that families are stable. So sometimes we may be in a situation where it's not stable for us. I've seen friskies like in the middle of the night, if there's a fire, if there's a major situation that happens where you think that everything's great for your family, you all done it, but then in the blink of an eye, something crazy can happen. And we have our friskies is what we call them. They are there and they show up. So you may think that you don't need a frisky until you need a frisky. Or you may come across a family where it is overwhelming and you're trying to help them and you can't do it alone. So make sure if you're helping a family, make sure they contact their frisky. And if you need it, there is no shame. Friskies are there and they are there to support you. So thank you, Gwen. We're so happy that you share that information.
Thank you. And I also want to share that if you find your child goes to a school that we don't have a frisky there, then still just reach out to our office. We'll connect you with someone. We're here to serve the community. So even if you don't have a frisky at your school location, or if you connect with a friend and they don't have one, just reach out to us and we will connect them with someone. Thank you all and have a great day.
All right. Thank you, Gwen. Awesome. So next we have an important office because we have close to 20,000 of our families in JCPS do not speak English as a first language. 20,000 of close to 100,000. So that's a large population of our families that need that support and our students that need language support. So we have one of our wonderful, hopefully I don't get Angei, I don't want to get your title messed up, but I believe it's Liaison. No, I'm going to let you give your title. But anyhow, we have an amazing resource within our ESL department. And we have some families that need support in that area. So I'm going to turn it over to Angei. And I'm sorry I didn't get your title correct, Angei.
That's okay. My title is Bilingual Community Liaison. Hello, everyone. My name is Angei Verona, and I represent the ESL department today. JCPS and the state are required to identify students who come from homes in which English is not their first or only language, and the ESL department admission center help register and evaluate these students. We have 154 language represented in JCPS. We also work with agencies such as KRM and Catholic Charities. And just this month, we have a total of 54 registered kids from these agencies and 26 future kindergartens. Next, please. For us, it's very important that our parents know that the icon, I think we don't have the icon, but it's the global icon is that icon helps to all the parents to translate all the information. Just they need to select what language they need, and that all the information will be translated. Since many times they avoid enter the JCPS page, assuming that this is only information in English. So we need to help the parents and push them to go to the web. Next, please.
Can I say too, Angei, real quick, can we go back to that last slide? Because I'm going to be honest with you all. I didn't see that until I think Lindsay, but we were doing a looking for it, and we probably just saw that maybe a month ago, maybe a couple months ago. So I don't know if anyone has ever seen that on our website. It's actually really, really small. If you go to our website, it's a little globe up there, but it's a really valuable tool because there's so much information on our website, and we're required to make sure information is in a language everyone can understand. So I really want everyone to see that globe. If you work with any families, please make sure they know about that little globe. It's small, but it's important.
Yeah, that is true. It is small, but important. Next, please. Okay. It is important that our parents are able to tune into the radio show, as each Saturday, Miss Berta shares the latest information about JCPS, and she also answers general questions. The show is every Saturday at noon through Potter, Kentucky. Next, please. And finally, our Facebook and Twitter page. If you missed the live program, also you can hear the program in our page. And new information is always posted, so our parents are always informed. So just follow our page. Next, please. Well, I think that's it. Gracias to all of you, and please follow us.
Thank you so much, Angei. And please make note of Angei's information. We're super happy to also have Angei as part of FACE, Family and Community Engagement Team. So Angei will be joining many of our meetings, and you can always follow up with Angei. So, all right, I'm going to do a quick little pause, okay, before we move to Maryhurst. Have we at least gotten one thing so far that you can use or you can share? And if so, can you tell me what it is in the chat? Because I'm nosy, y'all. You know, I'm nosy. I want to know, is there anything that you've heard so far that you can use or that you can share? So if you want to put that in the chat, because again, we're all very nosy people. We want to know what you're sharing. So next we have a very important resource, again, reminding us we are not alone, from Maryhurst. And many times, like, I'll be honest with you, you'll see that when we're talking about Maryhurst, it says outpatient. I always thought Maryhurst was inpatient. I really did. I always did. So I was very really like, oh, there's outpatient services. But not only are there outpatient services for students, but the reason why we're sharing is because they have outpatient services for families, like all of us. So we know this is a very difficult time for all of us. We're going through a lot of grief. And I really wanted to make sure that we heard what Maryhurst has to offer for all of us. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa Purdy, who's their VP of Outpatient Services. Lisa, you ready?
Actually, Lisa's not here today, so I'm here to represent our services. My name is Becca Short, and I am the clinical director of our Renewal program. And Renewal is what we call our outpatient program. So Crystal's right that a lot of times when people hear Maryhurst, they think of our residential program because the agency's been around a long time, but again, often people think of Maryhurst and think about our inpatient residential program. About 8 years ago, we started an outpatient program. And so that is community-based services. We work with families in homes, in the school buildings when, we were in physical school buildings pre-pandemic. And then we do have 3 office locations. So we have an office in the Portland neighborhood, we have an office in the Shively neighborhood, and we have an office in the east end part of Louisville. And so we offer a range of services. And Crystal is right, it's not just for adolescents. That is kind of historically what Maryhurst is known for working with. We work with just about all ages. We have kiddos that we work with as young as 4 years old and all the way up through adulthood. And so we do both individual services and family work. We have a diverse group of therapists on our team. We have about 15 therapists right now with us, and that specialize in both individual family therapy. We also have what are called our community support associates. And those are people on our team that are there to provide in the moment support. And so I always explain their role as kind of an extension of what our families are doing in therapy. So if the families are working on coping skills with the therapist, then the community supports are there with them actually practicing those skills. So they do a lot of in the moment support. We also have targeted case managers. And so those, again, are people that can help connect to resources. So any food resources that are needed, any medication management, things like that. Our community support, or our targeted case managers have helped our families with connecting with school needs as well. So that's something that they are well versed in doing. About a year ago, we were able to form a relationship with a couple of different psychiatrists, which was a very exciting thing because now we can offer medication management through our agency, through our team. And so you can really get all this, a lot of different services you need in one place. And so that's been an exciting thing for us to be able to have that partnership, so that if we're working with a client and they need a medication, that we're able to help them get that. And so that is, a very exciting thing that we now have. Currently, we're offering both telehealth services and in-person services, and following a lot of safety protocols when we're doing the in-person services. Still working, in homes as needed, and then also our office locations. So that is a overall kind of broad summary of the services that we provide in our outpatient program. We currently work with around 300 clients or so, and are growing, each year. And again, we offer services to all ages. And so I will put our referral link in the chat. And so, and actually somebody already helped me out. So that's awesome. But that way, if you all know someone who could benefit from therapy services, definitely reach out, and we would be glad to work with them. And I'm really grateful to be invited to this meeting, because I know we really enjoy and benefit from our partnership with JCPS, and look forward to continue working with you all moving forward. So thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Becca. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have Becca, someone from Maryhurst join, is because I know how important it is for family therapy. And sometimes when we think of therapy within JCPS, we think, oh, it's just for the students. But I want to share just like a family that's very, very close to me. One of the students, there's two girls, and mom is hardworking, an essential worker, two teenage girls, good girls, amazing girls. And one of the girls saw a close friend killed during NTI. And the mom, with trying to be an essential worker, trying to show up for her kids, wasn't really sure like what to say, what to do, and then still trying to manage her job and manage taking care of her babies. And so they were very excited to do family therapy. And so it looks like mom getting her therapy, getting her support, knowing how to show up for her girls, but then her girls being able to process how they're feeling right now during NTI, with having to deal with loss and grief. And it's so important. And a lot of times with our kids, we don't know necessarily how they're feeling, and we don't even know how we're feeling sometimes. So I really wanted to share this. I hope you will share this with someone, or even if you use it, therapy's the bomb. And so it's just good information to share. So thank you again for Becca for being here. And thank you, Becky, for sharing the information out where you can access it, and Melissa. All right. So again, we have a lot of information that we can share, right? And another thing that we have within JCPS is exciting coming up. We had some representatives that were going to talk about it. I'm not sure if they're here yet. Is Matt? Okay. So I'm just going to share very briefly. We'll have this in our presentation, but there are some Justice Now learning hubs, that the summits that are coming up. So there's a couple of events that are going to be available to students. And big picture, what this is about, if we're talking about justice, we're talking about changing the way we've looked at education in the past and looking at education as a way to be a form of justice for our students. So what does that mean? We know that education for all of our students hasn't always been, engaging. It hasn't always been inclusive, hasn't always been culturally responsive, and students haven't always had a voice. So we have some people that are working on this program who really specialized in how to make curriculum engaging to our kids and how to empower our kids to take charge of their curriculum. So it may mean creating a lesson plan that's around, a hip hop, song that they've created, or, saying what they want the community to look like, or thinking of some things that they can do in the community to make a change. But like the cool thing about the conference is they're going to be bringing in some really awesome people from around. They're going to be able to talk to some awesome people around, I believe, the country. I think, Cindy, aren't there a couple of other events that they're promoting where they're bringing in some other people to talk to?
Yeah, well, as I go through the slides, let me see if I can advance here. So this January 19th kickoff features the.
Cindy, it's kind of hard to hear you, Cindy. I think your sound is kind of it's like a robot. But so here's just some of the, the Learning Hub Summit people that are, like, I don't know, summit presenters, not summit people, that are going to be at some of the upcoming events. And again, the whole thing is about empowering students, empowering the community. So we have this in our presentation. If you can just share this information out for students to check it out. It's actually hard for me to promote it without the students being able to observe it, because it's a very engaging experience for students and they want them to be at the forefront of it. All right. Awesome. All right, so with all of that, we just shared a lot of information. Oh, and real quick, before we move on from this, I want to shout out this young man right here, DJ Richie, who's one of my babies. He was in my 4th grade class, one of my favorites. But James is going to be DJing an event that, the students that they want them to participate in. And I really I think James really empowers, or he embodies what they want to see with Justice Now. And so when you have James, he's a DJ, he's an entrepreneur, he is a leader in the community. And this is exactly what they want to inspire students to be able to do. So check out the events. I feel like they could probably explain it better than I could. And just seeing it is probably a lot more powerful than what I'm able to explain. All right. So just for a moment, there was a lot of information shared. Does anyone have any general questions? I believe we have some of our presenters that are still on here. Does anyone have any questions? We have a couple of minutes if you want to either put it in the chat or if you want to unmute. Is there anyone who has any questions for any of our presenters, so what we've shared so far? Okay, and I'd like to shout out, we've had some really good.
I have a question.
Okay.
So you said that world or that globe is on the website and it's, thank you, very small. Is there any way for them to, number one, make it bigger, because that's very important, better about, there's a way to share that with all staff members, because that's not even something I knew about. So if it goes across, I know they do like a JCPS, Fast 5 or news, they're always sending something out. If there's a way for that to regularly and consistently be sent out to be made aware, because teachers get sedated with a lot of information. And that's one thing that if we're going to be giving out information that should be shared regularly, say, hey, oh, sorry, yeah. If you need translation services, thank you. If you need translation services, then this would be right here. Is there any way to do that?
Absolutely. So Sarah Wagner with communications is on our team, and we can share that feedback with her and see if she can work with our webmaster and see if they can make that bigger. I absolutely agree, because I felt kind of like, oh my gosh, I just found out about the globe. So I'm trying to tell as many people as I can, but I can check with Sarah to see if she can put it in that the family and the teacher publication, because she manages that. And I think that would be good information. That's really good. Thanks for pointing that out.
No, thank you, because now I can take it back to my school and let them know.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's small but powerful, right? Angie's like, yes. All right, any other questions or comments about anything you've heard so far?
I would like to add something about for the family who doesn't speak English. We also told the parents, because sometimes they are a little scared to call the schools. We always say, just you need to say your name slowly, please, your phone number, and then the language you need the interpretation. Like if you are Spanish, you can say Spanish or Espanol. I believe everyone understands Espanol. So then you can, a school representative can connect with the ESL translation department.
That's a good point. Thanks for pointing that out, Angie. Yeah, because sometimes we want to remind that translation's available, but it has to be requested. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. All right, Owen, did you have a question or comment?
Yes, Crystal. First of all, I want to tell you guys, I apologize for getting to the meeting late this morning. I just couldn't find the link, but now I'm here. I appreciate all the great information that's been coming through this meeting. Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year.
My question was the world thing. Now, is that just for teachers only? I missed that. I stepped away for a second. Is that for teachers only? And I didn't see where to get that, what you guys were talking about. Where do I get that at, Crystal? How do I go about looking at that?
If you go to our JCPS webpage, so if you go to, like, just put in search,
okay,
there it is right there. There's the website.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, there's a lot of information on our JCPS website. We're always trying to find out how do we better organize it, because I think it gets a little confusing.
Okay.
So if you go to it on that site, then you can go to the globe and it can be translated.
Oh, I understand.
But honestly, there's a lot of information on that JCPS page that, you know, sometimes it's just good for families just to check in and just to, you know, sometimes you have a question about something, you have no idea it's actually on the webpage.
So as we meet like once a month or once every month, other month, do we have any kind of newsletters that come just to us, you know, the parents / teachers, where we know exactly what could be going on for our next meeting or what we might look into? Because I love the read and write thing, and I can't wait to introduce it to my daughter today. Do we have anything like that? Because Brandeis sends out, you know, newsletters once a week. Do we do that?
Well, I think I think at some point we have, and I think it's good feedback. No, I know the one thing after this meeting is we'll send this information, but I do think that that's good feedback, that maybe we put it in a way where it's easy to get to and you can easily find it. And I will tell you, and we did more of that last year. I think this year we've been more virtual, but I do think that there's some good feedback in that. So I appreciate that comment to potentially put this information in a newsletter.
Okay. And one more thing, I just want to say one more thing. The mental health spot that you had with the young lady was a great add-on. I've actually been looking for some things about, you know, I don't know if everybody saw the text I put in the chat. You know, I incorporate my whole family plus other children whose parents work. I try to keep everybody connected. And we've been looking for, you know, the mental health where our children can get a chance to release some stress, not to the actual, the teachers at school per se, but someone who's professional that can help and as a family unit. So I really appreciate that. I'm really going to look into that today. And just to let you know, I've told my daughter, because she gets a little bogged down with NTI, and I know you guys said it earlier, However, I look at this like, you know, it's just funny, but they're preparing our children for actually work. You see, our children get up on their own in the morning. They usually get themselves together, fix them some breakfast or whatever, unless you have to work, and they're on the computer just like grown-ups. Actually, they're growing up faster than we expected right now. So the level of education that they're learning through the computer skills and NTI, it may not be great, but it's going to be effective for them as they get into the work world, because it's preparing them for not too much play. I know we want to engage them with play, but at the end of the day, school needs to be a learning technique to get our babies ready for the world.
That's right.
The world is where they're going to.
Right. That's absolutely right. And you know what? Listen, Mr. Owen, I would love to for you to lead a session on that. But I mean, you brought up really good things. And also for the newsletter component, my bad on that. There is a newsletter that's sent out. It's actually sent to all of our networks. So it kind of gives an update for some of our school people that are doing family engagement work, and also to our parents that receive it. But I don't know if that update is specific to just Parent Advisory Council. I don't believe it is, but we may consider that too. But I'm going to tell you, actually, Owen, and I'm glad you're here, and I share this for all of our families on here. We're having discussions right now about, since we've had the tax increase, what does the future state of education look like in JCPS? And this is very good feedback about what do we want education to look like for our students. Now that we've had NTI, when we go back to school, I would say there are going to be some components of school that needs to look different moving forward. And then there are some components where we don't want anymore. Like, we may not want them in front of a computer all day, but we may want components of that level of responsibility, the access, families being able to see what kids are learning. So we do want you all as partners to keep giving us that feedback on how this process is working for you all, or maybe what you want to keep or what you don't want to keep. Okay, so we'll definitely stay in contact there.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful. And I'm looking at the next meetings. What time of the meeting is going to be held at? And I sent you my direct email link. If you did want to discuss with me what I talked about, I would love to, do whatever for the school system. It's fine,
Well, we got some information about that coming up too. So yes. So we're putting it in right now. So it's going to be Monday, 5:30, and then Friday at 10 o'clock. So it's Friday, February the 12th at 10 o'clock. It'll be put in there, and then Monday at 5:30. Thanks for putting that in there. And you only have to attend one meeting. It's going to be the same information at one meeting.
Okay. Thanks, Crystal, for letting me speak. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So there is an update for the next PAC meeting that I really, really want to stress, right? And Susan, of course you can attend both if you want to. Yes, come on, Susan. But I have a challenge for you all. I've been really excited about telling you all about this challenge, right? Because we're not playing about it. Okay, so the first part is, I think we need you. And Owen and Susan and everybody on here, we really want family members to help us with planning future PAC meetings. So we are just asking that if you are interested in helping us plan future PAC meetings, because this should be for parents, by parents, information. And when I say parents, I don't mean just legal guardians. I mean community members. I mean partners. I mean uncles, aunts, grannies, everybody. So if you would like to help us with planning, if you could please put your name and email in the chat, or you can send it directly to myself or Cindy. Just let us know if you're interested. And challenge to everyone on here to recruit some parents. If you can help us engage more families, because this is information we want as many families to receive for our next PAC meeting. If you bring families to the next PAC meeting, a family member of a JCPS that has a JCPS student, you will receive $5 per family member that registers for the next meeting. So if they register for the next meeting and they attend, you get a gift card for $5 per family member. And we're not playing, it's a real thing. So a challenge, we really want to honor you sharing this information. So we're not just saying you share it and thank you so much for volunteering, but we feel like it's important to honor you all, to bring people, honor you all when you share information, honor you when you help plan. And also, if you are part of planning, you can also receive a stipend for that as well. So I see we got some, I want to know really who thinks they're going to be able to accept this challenge for the next meeting, because I think it's pretty exciting that we bring people and that we also were part of the planning. So if you're ready for the challenge, you can chat. Okay, all right, LaToya, challenge accepted. I love it. All right, so really quickly, just some last resources I want to share. The free tutoring, do not forget, every student 3rd through 12th grade can receive tutoring through FEV Tutoring. Now, I will share, if you call that number, they will help walk you through how to get it. It's like a chat, right? But you're talking to a real person. And for me, I was like FEV Tutoring, but they're not really talking to an actual person. It's different. But we've looked at some of the feedback from students who've been using FEV Tutoring, and it's been awesome. They love their tutors. They actually get to, build relationships with their tutor. They can have the same tutor. They can schedule ACT prep. They can help with college, applications or essays. There's a lot of great things they can do with a tutor. Now, I will tell you, it's a chat function because of safety. Students cannot see their tutor and the tutors can't see them. So we wanted to make sure that it was completely safe, completely secure. So that is the reason why it is a chat, but it is a really good service. So if you're interested, call that number, or you can go to that website and it will get you set up. Also, just keeping in mind that we have a learning hubs where you can still look at the sign up. So if you know someone that's like, I need somewhere where my kid can really do NTI in the meantime of us going, trying to get back to school, check out the Learning Hub sign up and see if that's something that you can use, or share that with someone. Okay. So we've got tutoring, learning hubs. The third thing is the Care Hotline. Care Hotline is open Monday through Thursday, 3 to 7. It is literally a hotline if you are just like, you have any barrier with school right now. So any barrier with school, any questions about school stuff, or just, how to support your students through school, the Care Hotline is a line to help you with that. And lastly, we have information about our food sites. So that's great information to share. Okay, so I've shared a lot of information. We've shared a lot of information today. Whoop, 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 whoop. Be thinking about, again, what you're going to share with others or what you're going to use. Oh, and I have some more information to share. Oh my gosh. All right. Today, what's today? Today is January. What is today? Why don't I know what today is? Y'all, that's NTI.
January 15th.
That is the life of quarantine. We don't know what day it is some days. The grading period ended yesterday, and hopefully you've been able to check in. Actually, it ends today for middle and high school, and for elementary school, it ended yesterday. So we like to share this with you because sometimes our students won't tell us when the grading period ends. But at the end of the grading period, you definitely want to check to make sure that they've turned all of their assignments in, and that their participation was counted. If you have any questions about any assignments that might be missing and you can't see it on Parent Portal or Google Classroom, reach out to your child's teacher. And if you're not getting really support with that, let us know. We can help you with that. And my last plug is Parent Portal. If you cannot log into Parent Portal or you know someone that's having trouble, let me know. Again, it is so important that every single parent is on Parent Portal. It is so important. All right. All right. Now, last but not least, what we love is your feedback. Let us know how this meeting, what you liked about it, what you may not have liked about it. You won't hurt our feelings, I promise. It just helps us to make this better going forward. So you can take a picture of this right now. If you take your phone, just take a picture of that real quick, and you can give us feedback on the meeting today. And what I'm looking forward to is engaging more parents and more family leaders, community partners in the planning of our meetings, so that it's exactly what you all need and what you want. All right, so shout out, I'm seeing some people that are interested in planning. Whoop, whoop, good. All right, and lastly, check us out on social media was the one that you saw before that. If you're on Facebook, check us out on Facebook. We usually post like a lot of updates, a lot of resources on there. And if you're on Twitter, let's connect on Twitter. So just check that out. And lastly, we got this, y'all. We can do this. This week, I'm telling you, in 1 week, how many ups and downs do we face? I mean, we have some days where we're like, ooh, Lord. Then we have some days where we're like, I can do it. I can do it. So we're just going to keep plugging along. I want to challenge you to show yourself some compassion. So when you have those moments and they seem to be a lot, give yourself a little bit of compassion and let yourself know it's okay. When you get overwhelmed and you get frustrated, it is okay. And it is totally normal in this time. So celebrate the ups and be very compassionate and good to yourself with the downs, okay? But we've got this, and I am so grateful for everyone here today.
Ms. Hawkins.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you? Happy New Year. This is
Happy New Year.
Quick question. JCPS subs that work at the NTI learning hubs, do they have access to Parent Portal?
So Becky's shaking her head no. Becky, did you look into that?
I didn't look into it, but typically subs are not given access to Parent Portal because of confidentiality things.
Yeah, so I know for Infinite Campus, so basically Infinite Campus is what talks to Parent Portal, right? So with Infinite Campus, most of the, usually it's going to be the teacher of record or a school administrator that's going to input Infinite Campus information. So Parent Portal, what that looks like is, for me, I have a Parent Portal account just for my son, just so I can see my son's information. So the subs wouldn't be inputting information as a teacher of record, so they probably wouldn't see classroom information, but they could possibly get access to like how the students that they're working with are doing. They may be able to get access if they need it.
Well, we've been fortunate enough to be able to get Cascade forms completed. And so we have access to some of the information, but not the most current information.
Gotcha.
But, I was just curious. I'm just kidding. We're going to keep working through it though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you one thing that I've hoped that I really wanted is I really wanted to get, and this wouldn't necessarily be the Parent Portal side, but I really wanted to get more partner access to School Connect so that you could reach out to your teachers. And that's still in the works. We're still working on it, and I've sent the request. I'm just still waiting to hear back. But that's good feedback to see how, our learning hubs can get more up-to-date information. So it's not a lot of catch up.
Yeah, because we recognize that many of the students are missing assignments and what have you. And we've just been on a mission to get that work done. But sometimes, the students are not going to tell us. Then sometimes information is, some of the work is done, submitted, and then we later find out that they didn't do anything with the work. You know what I mean? So the work was actually incomplete. So we're getting some of that. But, any additional support and, for the subs while we're doing this work would be most helpful.
Yeah, and what I can recommend for what I do as a parent and what I recommend is I get my students login on Google Classroom. And to be honest with you, because he's my son, I have it on my phone too. So whenever he gets an update, like this week, he got an update from one of his teachers sending him a message saying, you haven't sent in your warm up for this week. And I'm immediately like, wait a minute, you did the warm up. Why didn't you, it's bad. He's like, oh man, my mom's got all this. But even with if you're at a learning hub and they're working with them, they can, even with them, log on with me. Let me see your Google Classroom and let me look at your to-do list. If they look at those to-do lists, it'll show what assignments have been assigned and then what hasn't been turned in.
Yeah, we finally figured that one out. So yeah, so that's something we're working on. So
Okay,
I was just curious.
Okay, good question. And thanks for all you're doing to support.
No, not a problem.
Thank you for being on a mission. They need you. So we appreciate you. Yes. All right. So I believe that is everything, unless anyone has any general questions. What we like to do to close out is we like to say bye to each other. We're a community, so we like to say bye. So, alone we go fast, together we go far. So I challenge you, if we want to stop sharing, if you want to turn on your screen, great. If you don't, that's fine. But if everyone could just unmute and say goodbye to someone, and then we will send you off into this beautiful space called world, and hopefully see you soon and hear from you very soon. So if you can, again, unmute and please say goodbye to someone.
Goodbye, Miss Lindsay.
All right. I'll see you soon, Rhea.
Goodbye, Cindy.
Goodbye, Owen. Goodbye, Venus.
Bye, Melissa. Thanks for all your help. Bye,
Goodbye.
Susan. Goodbye, Crystal. Goodbye, Becky.
Bye, Toy.
How do you all?
All right.
Bye, Autumn.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Auntie.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.